Hello everyone. In this lecture we will prove that refining a partition increases the lower sum. So let me write down the statement. Of the theorem. It says that let f is a function from I, which is closed interval a comma b to r, be a bounded function let P and Q are any partition of I such that P is subset of Q. P is subset of Q implies that Q is a refinement of P. Then LQF is larger than LPF. Okay, so let me prove this. If let P equal to x naught, which is equal to a comma x1 comma dot 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 xn equal to p be any partition of I, and let Q be a partition which has some extra point apart from P. So let's call this as y1 y2 dot 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 ym be a refinement of P. So you will observe that P is a part of Q. Now to prove this result, I will observe the effect of adding one point in a partition P, and then slowly we will generalize for the endpoints. So let us observe the effect of adding one point, say y1 in P. So let Q1 is equal to P1 union singleton y1. Where does this y1 belongs? Where y1 belongs to some open interval xk minus 1 comma xn. This open interval is very important for some k between 1 to n. So let me draw the diagram. Suppose this is my A, this is B. So let me talk about now only kth rectangle. So of course I am particularly taking this rectangle. Suppose this has many points x0, x1, so this is xn, so it between x2, x3 and so on. So lower sum, so for lower sum I need to take a rectangle below the curve, right? So now for the xk minus 1, suppose this is my rectangle, and similarly this, right? So let me have y1 over here. So when I will add y1, it's very clear that this new part, some area has been covered, this which I will locate with the red color. So this area has been added in the refinement. So it is very clear that, so let me define what is infimum. So let small mk is infimum of fx such that x belongs to xk minus 1 comma xk. So small mk is infimum over xk minus 1 comma xk. Small mk dash is infimum of fx such that x belongs to xk minus 1 comma y1, and small mk double dash is infimum of small fx such that x belongs to y1 comma xk minus 1. Right, so one should observe that my small mk dash is always less than is greater than or equal to small mk. Why? The reason, you can, for geometry, by geometry also you will observe this, but you can also see that your mk dash is a infimum over xk minus 1 comma mk dash is infimum over, yeah, that's xk minus 1 comma y1, which is a part of xk minus 1 comma xk. So if A is subset of B, then infimum of B is less than equal to infimum of A. That is what the result is. So that result, let me write down here. A subset of B implies infimum of B less than equal to infimum of A. So here mk dash is basically infimum over xk minus 1 comma xk, xk minus 1 comma y1, and mk is a infimum over xk minus 1 comma xk. So infimum of B is less than equal to infimum of A. That should be clear. Similarly, mk double dash is greater than equal to mk. Why? The reason is because y1 comma xk is a subset of xk minus 1 comma xk. So that means infimum taken over this is definitely less than equal to infimum taken over this. So this is what I have written. Right. So these two inequality we will use in the next part. So let me define now. Consider with LQ1F. So consider LQ1F, which is equal to m1 x1 minus x0 plus m2 x2 minus x1 plus dot 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 plus small mk dash y1 minus xk minus 1 plus small mk double dash xk minus y1 plus dot 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 mn xn minus 1. Now this mk dash and mk double dash will be can be replaced with a smaller term mk. So that would imply LQ1F is greater than equal to m1 x1 minus x0 plus m2 x2 minus x1 plus dot dot dot. Let me take mk common from this, so I will have y1 minus xk minus 1 plus xk minus y1 plus dot 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 mn xn minus 1. So this y1 and this y1 will get cancelled. So the rest of the sum which I will get is basically LPF only. So is greater than equal to m1 basically summation I goes from 1 to n small mi xi minus 1, which is basically my LPF. So I have proved that LQ1F is greater than equal to LPF. So this is gonna very important inequality for me. So let me call it as a star. So let me take Q2 as Q1 union Y2. Now you can see that Q2 is a refinement of Q1. So apply star on Q2. Apply star on Q2 and Q1. So since Q2 is a refinement, so LQ2F is greater than equal to LQ1F. Let's number this as 1. Similarly, let me take as Q3, which is same as Q2 union Y3, and again apply star. Then what I will get, LQ3F is greater than equal to LQ2F. Let me number it as 2. So on and so forth. So in general, if I take QM, which is equal to QM minus 1 union with YM, this will basically gives me entire Q, because all the PO we are completing as well as Q. So we will have and apply star by. So if I apply star, what I will get is LQMF is greater than equal to LQM minus 1. So likewise I will get, if I club all these inequalities, so therefore what I will have is as follows. I got this chain, if I take, so LQMF, QM is same as Q, so now I won't write QF. So LQF is greater than equal to LQM minus 1F is greater than equal to LQM minus 2F dot 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 greater than equal to LQ1F greater than equal to LPF. So this would imply finally LQ1F is greater than equal to LPF. Not Q1, is LQF is greater than equal to LPF. So we have proved that refining a partition increases the lower sum. To prove a very important theorem of Riemann integration called as Riemann criteria for R integrability. This statement is called as necessary and sufficient condition for R integrability. But before proving this theorem, let me write down some of the prerequisites or some of the, let me recall some definitions of primum and infimum. So Suppose you have a non-empty set. Suppose S is a non-empty set. S is a subset of R. And suppose S is a bounded above, such that S is bounded above. Then M is equal to supremum of S if and only if there exists instead of 6. Then for every epsilon greater than 0, you can always find an element from, say, there exists A belongs to S such that M minus epsilon less than A less than equal to M. So this result is going to be, we will going to use this result, this inequality in the permanent criteria. So if M is supremum, then it follows this. On the same line, we have proved this. Basically, this result can be proved. So I'm not going to prove now, but it is a requisite. We have done this already in the first year course. Similarly, there is a nice definition. If S is non-empty, S is a subset of R, S is bounded above. So let me write down again. S is non-empty, S subset of R, S is bounded below. Then small m is equal to infimum of S if and only if for every epsilon greater than 0 there exists an element A belongs to S such that M less than equal to A less than A plus I should say M plus epsilon. A less than M plus epsilon. Well, this result is also important. For infimum, we get this. So if M is equal to infimum of S, then we can always write down this. This is what equivalent definition to infimum of S. So this both definitions, these are called as a characterization property of supremum and infimum. I repeat, this is called as characterization property of supremum and infimum. So these both properties we will be proving in Riemann criteria for R integrability theorem. So now I am ready to prove that state that statement. So now the statement, let me write down the heading: Riemann criteria for R integrability. Or this is also called as necessary and sufficient condition for R integrability. So let me write down the statement. Statement is let f is function from closed interval a comma b to R be a bounded function be a bounded function. Then f is R integrable on close interval a comma b if and only if there exists epsilon, not there exists, if and only if for every epsilon greater than 0 there exists a partition let's call that partition p epsilon. So p epsilon is just a name of partition. There exists a, so p epsilon is a notation or symbol, right? So if you confuse with p epsilon, then you can straight away write only p. Writing p epsilon is not important, but to just identify that partition, I have labeled with a p epsilon. So f is R integrable on closed interval a comma b if and only for every epsilon greater than 0 there exists a partition, say p epsilon, such that u p epsilon f minus l p epsilon f is less than epsilon. So upper sum minus lower sum with respect to p epsilon should be less than epsilon. That is what theorem says. So now onwards, if I could prove this theorem, then this will be very useful to me to show the function is R integrability, because as per the definition, f is said to be R integrable. One need to find out UF-LF, and UF-LF, then that partition P was UPF, then supreme infimum of UPF and all. The P was general partition, so it was not that simple to find out UF and LF for every function. Sometimes you may able to find out very easily, but all the times it is not that much, means not simple task to find out UF-LF all the times. So if I could find out a partition P epsilon such that UP epsilon F minus LP epsilon F, if this difference turned out to be less than epsilon, then because of this theorem we can straight away say that F is R integrable. So its integration exists. That is what we can able to say. So this is going to be a very powerful theorem for Riemann integrability. Proof is if and only if. So since it is an if and only if, it means the converse part is also true. So we need to prove converse also. So let's prove the direct part. So it's not difficult to prove. It needs the definition of the characterization property of supremum and infimum. Those property you should able to write down here properly. So let me write down proof. So direct implication I am writing. So it is given that number 1, f is R integrable. So if f is R integrable on closed interval a comma b, if f is R integrable, that would imply its UF is same as LF, because this is definition of R integrability. When function is R integrable, then its upper integral is same as lower integral. I have to prove that for any epsilon greater than 0 there exists partition P epsilon such that UP epsilon F minus LP epsilon F is less than epsilon. This is what my target is. So now let's prove this. So we know that UF is equal to infimum of all UPF such that P is any partition of A comma B. So UF is an infimum of this UPF. This set has all the upper subs. So if you observe, I have taken in a prerequisites. Not this. Yeah, this was a supremum. So if M is an infimum of S, then M less than equal to A less than M plus epsilon. Now what I have instead of M, I have there UF is equal to infimum of F. So M के जगह पे यहाँ पे UF आ जाएगा less than equal to A belongs to S. So S is a set. Now there my set is a set of all upper sum. So instead of A, I will say an element is an upper sum only. So for upper sum UPF, but instead of saying UPF, I will say there exists a partition P1 such that instead of M, I will say UF is less than, because UF is an infimum of S, UF less than equal to UP1F, which is less than UF plus epsilon. So let me write down that. So by characterization property of infimum, what I can say, for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists partition P1 of, so let me write down the word partition P1 of closed interval A comma B such that, वहाँ पे M था small m, तो यहाँ पे such that UF less than equal to, वहाँ पे A था तो यहाँ पे UP1F आएगा is strictly less than UF plus epsilon. Let me write down in the next slide in a more better way. So UF less than equal to UP1F less than UF plus epsilon. Let's number this as 1. Similarly, LF is equal to supremum of all LPF such that P is any partition of closed interval A comma B. I am not writing that, now it is very clear. So अगर वैसे लिखेंगे तो देखो सुप्रीमम में क्या होता है, फॉर एवरी एप्सिलॉन, नाउ कैपिटल M is my LF, now LF minus epsilon will be less than, now A will be LP2F I will say, and again LF. So let me write down this. By characterization property of supremum, what you will get, LF minus epsilon. So for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists P2 in a more better way. So there exists a partition P2 of closed interval A comma B such that UF minus epsilon less than equal to UP2F less than equal to UF. Let me number this as 2. So now what I will do, I will multiply 2. I will multiply, I did some mistakes, yeah, I did some mistakes. So it should be LF minus epsilon less than I should write out here LF only. LP to F less than equal to LF. Okay. So what I will do, I will multiply this 2 by minus sign, and then I will add 1 and 2. So basically 1 adding means minus 2 will give me. So while doing this, I will again suggest you multiply 2 by minus sign and then add. So let me do that first. So if I multiply 2 by minus sign, then the all inequality will change. So LF will come first time. So it will have minus LF so I will have minus LF less than equal to minus LP to F less than equal. I should write this is less than only. This is less than equal to. So this is less than. So minus L2P to F less than LF minus LF plus epsilon. And now you can do 1 plus 3. If I do 1 plus 3, then what I'll get is as follows. So 1 plus 3 will give me UF minus LF. But then in a given fact, it is given that अगर आपने देखा होगा, we have said that UF and LF is same, it is given. So when I add this, ये जब add करूँगा UF minus LF, that becomes 0. So that will give me 0 less than equal to UP1F minus LP2F. So UP1F minus LP2F, and here it is UF minus LF again 0, so I'll have 2 epsilon, so less than 2 epsilon. So what I got is as follows. I got 0 less than equal to UP1F minus LP2F less than 2 epsilon. Now the question is, have I done with the proof? Answer to this, no. Because first of all, ये तो epsilon लाना है इधर, और इधर ये P1 P2 दोनों अलग अलग पार्टीशन है. So I want P epsilon. Same with respect UPF with respect to same partition of LP to LPF U and L, upper sum and lower sum with respect to same partition it should come. So these are the two difficulties I could see that. This 2 epsilon can be managed very easily, because यहाँ पे हमने जब बोला है number 1, जब हमने लिखा है where is number 1, here I can straight away say epsilon by 2. Here also I can say epsilon by 2. That is not an issue. This is also epsilon by 2. And while adding this, I will get 2 epsilon by 2, and which will give me only epsilon. So this won't be a difficult. Now this part is gonna I should work out on this. So let me call this as a star. Now here a very important fact is that I should use the properties of refinement and all. So if you remembered in a previous class, my student gave a very nice refinement. If I have a 2 partitions P1 and P2, then we can find out a new partition. I guess Smith has given a very nice answer in a lecture. He said that you take P as a P1 union P2. So this is a refinement of P1 and P2. So instead of P, I will say P epsilon. So let P epsilon is equal to P1 union P2. So here P epsilon is refinement of P1 and P2. राइट. सो अगर ये पी एप्सिलॉन रिफाइनमेंट है P1 एंड P2 का, तो वी नो द रिजल्ट. रिफाइनिंग अ पार्टीशन decreases the upper sum and increases the lower sum. So U P epsilon F and U P1F डिक्रीज होगा. P epsilon है तो दिस विल बी लेस देन इक्वल टू, एंड L P epsilon F is greater than equal to L P2F. Right? So this is why this is happening, because of that property. Refining a partition decreases the upper sum and increases the lower sum. So I have defined 1 2 3. This is 4, this is 5. So 4 minus 5 will tell me that U P epsilon F minus L P epsilon F is less than equal to U P1F minus L P2F. But U P1F minus L P2F is nothing but it is already less than F epsilon by star, so which is less than epsilon. So this would imply U P epsilon F minus L P epsilon F is strictly less than epsilon. This would imply U P epsilon F minus L P epsilon F is less than epsilon. So direct part we have proved, that is not difficult. Now let's prove the converse. So conversely, it is given that for any epsilon there exists a partition P epsilon of closed interval a comma b such that U P epsilon F minus L P epsilon F less than epsilon. I need to prove that F is R integrable on closed interval a comma b. So when I say F is R integrable on a comma b, that is to prove that UF is same as LF. Now UF is a number, LF is a number. These two numbers are same. That is what I want to prove. We know that to show that two numbers are same, it means that both are less than equal to, means how we say A is equal to B. A is equal to B if and only if A is greater than equal to B and A is less than equal to B. If I could prove that, then both are equal. So now here I need to show that UF is equal to LF. That means I should show that UF is greater than equal to LF and UF is less than equal to LF. If I could prove both the inequality, implies that UF is equal to LF. Out of these two inequality, one of the inequality is very clear. Clearly, UF is greater than equal to LF. This is very trivial, so no need of doing this. So let me call this as number 6. Now we will prove that UF less than equal to LF. If I could prove that UF less than equal to LF, implies that I have done with the proof. So let me start with UF. What is UF? UF is nothing but infimum of all UPF such that P is any partition of closed interval a comma b. So clearly UF is less than equal to, it's a lower bound, one of the lower bound. It is less than equal to any upper sum. So in particular it will be less than equal to U P epsilon F, because P epsilon is one of the partition of closed interval a comma b. Right. Now the this is further less than LP epsilon F plus epsilon because of given fact. Because given fact says that UP epsilon F minus LP epsilon F is less than epsilon. So UP epsilon F can be replaced by LP epsilon F plus epsilon. So further LPF से बड़ा element है, we know one element, that is LF, because LF is a supremum of all LPF. So LPF is less than equal to LF plus epsilon, right? Since LF greater than equal to LPF. Right, so what I got is as follows. UF इधर बीच में एक less than, strictly less than है, तो ये UF and LPF plus epsilon के अंदर strictly less than inequality आएगी. So what I got is UF strictly less than LF plus epsilon for epsilon greater than 0. Now if I drop this epsilon, then this dropping this epsilon will make this as less than equal to LF. So this is number 7. So from 6 and 7, we can say that UF is equal to LF, implies that F is R integrable. This completes the proof of converse. So this theorem is very important. It is one of the very useful result in the problem solving and all. So many a times, instead of when we say F is R integrable, we will straight away write down that UP epsilon minus LP epsilon is less than epsilon. So UPF minus, I repeat my statement, if F is R integrable, if it is given, then I will straight away say that UPF minus LPF is less than epsilon, where P is a partition of closed interval. So there exists a partition. So well, this is not difficult proof, it is a little lengthy, but it can be understood in a better way. So if you have any doubt regarding this theorem, we will discuss those doubts in a lecture. Thank you.